Stop. We're not going to mess with that. No. Come on. Got all this stuff to do. All right. Hello. Hello. Yeah, you should be able to hear me. Yeah, I had to move the microphone around again. Good old Kipster. Yeah, he's already being a challenge this morning, so I was hoping it would be easier today, but no, no. He's already throwing tablets. Um, yeah, he's in everything. So I was hoping he would be a little calmer today, but not so much. I guess I'm not going to get lucky with it. And then again, one of the cords is still messed up. So using the different microphone. So yeah, it should be. Yeah. Hopefully the sound is coming through okay. It looks like it's in the right sound range. Does it sound decent though? Like I said, it's in the proper range where it is, but it's a different microphone. So I was unable to test it this morning. Should be okay. As I said, it's this is the best you've sounded in a while. Really? It is the better microphone, but it's the one that's like I have it in my face, so it's harder to see. Yeah, it's I don't know. Yeah. Oh, Kipster, it's challenging morning. That's all I'm gonna say. Yeah. Up. Up. He's all right. All right. So starting off the new year, 2023, we are seeing some decent movement. Two different currencies. We're seeing the pound start to go, getting some strength back up. Right, you're seeing pound dollar down just a little bit, but you're seeing the euro pound down 67, and then seeing the pound yen down a bit. There was a pound Aussie trade in the overnight that also just kind of flew. And again, it is leveling out right now. You're seeing some profit taking come in. Um, Euro, we're seeing euro weakness in, but 45 minutes ago we got this statement. I expect significant increases at the next two meetings, which is kind of like, huh, really? I thought you said that you were done. So the market again hasn't really gotten a full reaction to it. A couple other things in here. Again, you're seeing it's that talks about strong dollar, manufacturing in the UK. So really, kind of just again opening and seeing where everybody goes. OPEC has meetings today. I don't know if you guys were keeping track of it. Russia banned exports or banned sales to countries that participated in a price cap, and at the same time, I guess Germany or whatever, or the EU, whatever, stopped pipeline purchases or something like that. Um, so yeah, kind of an interesting kind of fight back and forth. Meanwhile, you're seeing natural gas basically implode today as well, back down into the 4 range, which is awesome. To think that we were at 10 for natural gas, and now we're in the middle of the winter, and down at 4. Now, granted, I say we're at the middle of the winter, but yesterday in Maryland, it was 65 degrees outside. Reese is actually at school today with shorts. So, yeah. How's that for interesting? Yeah, shorts. Shorts. He's like, oh, it's going to be above 60. I'm wearing shorts, Dad. I'm like, all right, I'm not going to, uh, if that's what you want, then have at it, go for it. But yeah, it's not really horrible outside today. So I was like, yeah, just whatever, bud. If that's what you want, have at it. So we have OPEC meetings today. I haven't seen any headlines yet. We will get those in, but it is kind of an interesting kind of battle back and forth. We want oil. We don't want oil. And all the while you're seeing all the EV stuff. It's funny. I don't know what it was, but like through the whole break, like I was just checking out all the EV stuff. I think the EV Silverado is my pick. Of all of them, I'm looking at them. I'm like, that's nice. I was really like into the EV Hummer. I was all over that one. I was like, I really like this one. I was like, it's 0 to 63 seconds. Got monster towing on it. All kinds of crazy bells and whistles. I mean, to think that it started off as a military vehicle and then became civilian. What, buddy? I was like all over that one, but then here, did you change the tablet? Yeah, you changed the tablet. Here, how do you fix it? There you go. Here's Peppa. There you go. There's more Peppa. Here. Then I started watching looking at the EV, the Silverado EV stuff, and I was like, I kind of like this one. I think that's my pick right now. Not that I'm going to be in the market for buying an EV and anytime soon, but it's kind of like I like that one. Especially it's funny that the trucking world, it seems like that's where they're going with it is straight EV. Just because again the towing capacity is just monstrous. There's so much torque in those things. It's kind of crazy. So, yeah. No Cybertruck. Obviously, I never was a Cybertruck guy, but yeah, it's kind of funny. I don't know. I feel like everybody that was in the Cybertruck is, it's kind of like I think those people are all gone. It was just so ugly then. It's not able to keep up with everybody else. Ugly is ugly. I guess you can't. What is it? What is that saying? You can't put lipstick on a pig or something like that. It's still pig or whatever. I feel like that's where the Cybertruck's life is ending, which is like whatever. I don't care. Yeah, so that's where we're at as far as market goes. Tomorrow morning we do have some ISM data coming back into the markets. This data, it's pretty interesting data. ISM is always important, but JOLTS I think is the big thing. Remember, JOLTS is something that we've been talking about that we needed to have destruction in the labor market. The labor market was important. That was driving inflation right now. And, I think so. I mean, it's, we still have 10. I think 5 is the magic number. They're talking about having to raise things up. And we do have FOMC meeting notes that kind of start off the year. Now, again, they've been on break, the holiday. I don't know if there's going to be anything earth-shattering coming from FOMC, but you never know. They may talk about what they see into the new year and, kind of where the markets go. I think if you look at kind of year-end summaries of things, I think, depending on which one, like I think the NQ was down 30% last year. I think S&P was down 19% last year. The Dow was down pretty big as well. Commodities, you guys know where they kind of bounced all over the place. But again, yeah, at year end, kind of a rough point. They were mentioning, I heard this morning, they were saying that this time last year we were at the high, and it kind of just went downhill from there. And we kind of talked about that, seeing that kind of recession, the raising interest rates, what it was going to do, and for a while it looked great, but then kind of accelerated, and yeah, it's kind of where we are right now. But so I think tomorrow is important to kind of see where the PMI numbers are going to show, or kind of put themselves, as well as again, I think JOLTS is really going to be what the Fed is going to talk about the most. Just the labor market and the demand there. So I do think that FOMC as well as JOLTS, I think both of them could be market moving. And again, we really haven't had much opportunity thus far to really get in there and trade any of the any news releases. It's a new year, right? Any of the releases last week were kind of just it is what it is, right? There just wasn't enough volume out to really do much. Yeah, Nura Joe ILS. Yeah, it's Maryland. Yeah. I mean, it's funny. One of my parents yesterday asked her, like, well, when is too cold for us to practice? And this is a parent that never shows up when it's cold. Here, buddy. There you go. And I'm like, well, I was like, legally, we can practice whenever. Like we've practiced in the snow. Like there are things called sweatshirts. It's not as much fun, but it's not like the coaches are sitting in the car and the kids are on the field. We're out there braving the cold and we're not running around. So I was like, I hear you, but that's like saying, oh my God, it's below freezing. Are you going to send your kids out to play in the snow? It's like, yes. So why can't they run around a lacrosse field for a little bit? So it was kind of my response back. I was like, yeah, take it or leave it. But anyway, yeah, so we'll see. I'm sure the cold weather will be back. They were calling for a cold winter, and we had like 70-degree temps for 2 weeks, and yeah, then it's 65. But that's also Maryland. Come here, buddy. You want to get up here? But the play's on the ground. Yeah, you're not going to like this microphone thing in your face. Nope, we're not going to touch the microphone. He sees it, and he's like, what is that? Can I play with that? Yeah, you got the hiccups, too. So you may hear voices. He's being a little bit loud, and he's got the hiccups. So if you hear hiccups, it's Kip, not me. All right, so that's where we stand in the next 24 hours as far as news goes. So jumping across into the charts, let's start off with the VIX. And a lot of these are kind of like, well, this is where we ended, right? And we were in in December. And then this is where we are now. So you can see really that last kind of week just kind of leveled out and we were kind of in between ranges. We always have a pop. I mean, the pop makes sense, right? Haven't traded for a while. New volatility, new fear. Oh, Kip, come on. Stop. There we go. So again, I'm not necessarily surprised by the little bit of a pop in the overnight. I actually won't be surprised if this starts to tear back down again and starts dropping. Again, tons of negativity, but again, it is a new year. One of the things about today too is, again, if you guys are familiar with tax loss harvesting, right? You can claim your losses. You got to close things out. It's why most firms and things like that are done their trading at the very beginning of December. But now that it's new year, it's time to get back into the markets. You got to have markets at play. For those of you who don't know, advisors and kind of management firms, they get paid for assets under management. Okay. Well, go ahead if you want. Cash is not considered an asset. So if you have, okay, what the heck is this? If you have cash with an advisory firm and they're charging you like a 2 and 20 or something along those lines, or like a 2% maintenance fee of all the assets that you have, cash doesn't count as maintenance. They can't charge you for that. So advisory firms, today's a big day for advisory firms because it's time to get that money back into the market so they can get bonused at the end of the month. Okay. So typically the first day of the year, you tend to have a lot more buying as people are acquiring positions again. And again, they're not required to put it all right back in. They just need to have it by the end. But, with that being said, understand that the powers that be, right? And I say the powers that be, understand the big players in the market. Today's a very, very big day for them, right? Because again, they're starting to put assets back at work, right? Because again, they don't get paid for cash. That's why they always want you in some type of a position. So keep that in mind for today. It doesn't mean that the market is great. It doesn't mean that everything's all, wonderful out in the markets. But it is a day that advisory firms will start acquiring positions again, putting themselves in, trying to pick what they want, purchasing of ETFs, because again, remember, ETFs have that less volatile nature to them. So again, just keep that in mind today, that will be the push to get big money back into the markets. Okay. Now, dollar. Overall, the dollar, you may say, what the heck is this? It's the first trading day of the year, right? You can see the European session right here. Boom, took off. Went from 103.60 all the way up to 104.80. And now we're retracing back again. It was kind of a parabolic move. Its reversal was, again, that 5:30, 6 o'clock in the morning type reversal. But again, 3 to 5, that's what kind of turned this one around. As far as where the dollar goes, with FOMC tomorrow, the Fed has obviously slowed down. They've acknowledged that. I don't think it's over. I think they're going to continue to raise. I don't think, again, I don't think people's credit cards are maxed out. People are still spending right now. We'll start getting the data to see how much people actually spent at the holiday during the holiday season. I think that's a kind of a big determinant of what this is really going to end up doing. I don't think it's over. I think a lot of people are convinced of that's it. The Fed's not doing any more. I'm not one of those people. I think they're going to go farther. I think they need to go farther. I think housing's still in trouble. I have a friend that, talked about how, in our area, at least the markets are insulated because of DC, right? And that was the same thing with when we had the 2008 kind of housing crash, my area was a bit more protected because everybody always moves to Washington D.C. because of government. So there was a ring that kind of contracted a little bit, but we didn't have the housing destruction and craziness that everybody else did. So he said, "Yeah, we're insulated here, so it's not it's not a bad thing. Um, it's not horrible yet, but I think it is. I think it's going to get a little bit worse as far as interest rates rising. So, um, yeah, dollar. I think again we'll kind of level out today in preparation for FOMC, just to kind of see where it goes with everything. We'll see what other type of data we get out of them tomorrow. And like I said, I think the Fed is what's going to really dictate kind of what happens with the dollar in the next 24 hours. People are looking at that and thinking, you know, what's the Fed going to say, right? What the Fed say matters. Indices right now all up just a little bit. Nothing that is out of the ordinary as far as kind of an opening Monday goes. Commodities, for the most part, commodities I would say the usable energies are both down. You're seeing again not a bad start, right? You're seeing really natural gas is the outlier, and it's crazy. Natural gas has just been insane where it's moving up 10, down 10, left 10, right 10. We're down 8.8 or 8.6% so far, right? Down to $4, 409, which is awesome. I don't even know when the last time we saw 409. So it's really, really great to see. Particularly because again, people are, we're at a stage now where people are starting to use that natural gas, right? I use propane here, but and gasoline. I don't know if you guys had the same phenomenon where you live, and maybe you did. We actually broke below $3 during like the Christmas, New Year's week. We were getting gas for like $2.89, right? Kind of awesome, right? $2.89, and then yesterday, I guess everything popped right back up again to like $3.30, $3.25. It's kind of like, what the heck just happened? What happened to super cheap gas? Well, I don't want to say super cheap, but like, what happened to that cheap gas? Why did it go up 30 cents over the weekend, right? But it is what it is. And you can see there's not much movement there. But anyway, here's the Aussie dollar. We saw that crazy dollar movement starting at 3 o'clock this morning. And again, we saw some little bit of movement here. We kind of peaked, came back, and then the European stepped in here, right? An impulse, a correction, and a big move down. And it kind of went back to an area where if you look, you can see there's buyers over in there. Again, this week is always a little bit weird for technical analysis because all the levels that we're seeing, near-term levels, were created during a time frame where there wasn't a lot of big money out there manipulating the markets. So it's always hard to tell where the big money is going to be when a zone was formed in an area when, in a time when big money was not in the market. Remember, we're playing the markets. We're trying to find the areas that big money has manipulated, right? When big money's not in, they can't manipulate, right? Not that they can't, but it's not to the same extent that we normally see. So just keep that in mind. It is an area. I'm not necessarily super concerned about it right now. If you want to take an easy drawing fib-wise, this did come up to the 78, so we're gonna leave it there because it is kind of a 78. We're gonna start drawing that as a top in there because that could be a potential sell. So we just want to kind of get that visually out there. You can see some of the things we talked about last week before we kind of took off. You can see this level hit. This level ended up tagging here. So let's delete these off. Delete this. Delete this. Delete this. And you can see this one hit here, hit here, hit here. Ended up basing again. That would have been hit number 4. And then again, it became kind of that bottom level. We're at it right now. Let's pull that. We'll extend this across. Did not make it down on the 66. We will kind of put this reversal in though. Because again, this is an easy bottom to an easy top. You can see over here. And you know what? We don't need it because I'm not going to use either of those two levels. So let's run it from the top down because that's what some people will be looking at right now. All right. So, interesting spot. So we are at a 50% level, but it's a level that, as far as high quality, again, sometimes I'll look at these 50s and I really kind of like where they're at. This one, honestly, not so much. It was definitely a parabolic move to the downside, but again, it wasn't like it was based off of any U.S. news or anything like that. It was really just kind of the resuming of trading and new investments coming in. Hmm. We definitely have a little bit of a retracement off this 50. I don't know if this is an area where you take it or not. I wish there was a zone kind of accompanying it and giving it some type of confirmation, but it's not really there. So, there will be people stepping in on a technical basis to sell this one. It's not really one that I'm interested in. I'd really like to see kind of where we kind of form levels at. But I will say with this bottom down here now, it is a decent candle with a little bit of a retest right there. I think right now we could probably start drawing this one and saying, hey, listen, here's kind of our new range, our kind of top and whoops, no, that's the one that can stay red. There's kind of our top side, and you can say, hey, listen, there's kind of our bottom side of the channel right now, and we're kind of flirting with the 50% level. So, you know, I think as again, new positions are established today, this would kind of give us the ability to say, hey, listen, there's a top and bottom. We have 50% retracement in here. These are the levels we're going to use for the next 2 or 3 days as far as trading goes. Um, yeah, I think that's the best thing we can do with it. So we'll see if this is a turning point or not. The 78.6 does have an interesting level too. If you guys want to mark that one off, you guys know I'm not as big of a fan of the 78.6. Not that you can't trade it, it's just not my personal preference. But if you look at this level here at 86.01, again, it is literally right at that 86. I'll just bring it right down. There we go. You can see it was an impulse. And again, correction moved back up again, and it is a 78. So there will be people that artificially step into that one. I'll mark this one off in yellow for some of you that do like that zone. Like I said, I know James does like that one, but it's not necessarily my favorite of zones. But again, it is absolutely one you have to walk off, and it is an area where you could see potential reversals. It's just you can't really argue with that one. That is an area where there could be a potential reversal. Um, Yeah, I think that's it for that one. Yeah, let's go to Aussie yen. So Aussie yen, you're seeing a bit more of a decline, and you can see it made it up to 78. So we'll pull off that near-term level here. Here was an old kind of violated level. You can see that it literally banked that off on the 22nd. There's some of these levels. This 87, by the way, we missed it. We're looking at that one. Those are still good. We're going to take this one more near term, although again, the problem is this is right before Christmas. I would say that the level here at the 50 is probably pretty decent. Again, you can see that basing level came up, and then boom, an explosion off that level. So that's probably the most near-term setup that we have in this one would be a short at 89.22. Whoops. That one was all over the place. Let's change that there, change that there. There we go. Now at the 23.6, there is a small level there as well. And again, this may be a little bit of a yen reversal coming in for somebody that's a little bit more aggressive. That could be a level that you're looking for right there. We still have a bunch of levels that are kind of untested up top as well. But right now, I would say, again, this would probably be more of a probably more of a yen position than anything else. Again, it's not like the Aussie is really doing anything right now. Maybe some gold proxy, but yeah. There's a potential in there. Like I said, if we can get up, maybe another little kind of push forward, could be a potential 1030 reversal. How much risk is in that? Yeah, 19. It's okay. It's okay. Um, of the two, I would rate the 50 a little bit higher than I would rate this one. Neither of them are horrible though. I think you could trade either one of them if you really wanted to. If you wanted to do a capture. And again, if the 23.6 is a level that you like, but you want to get a little bit more confirmation, if you're a little bit more risk averse, wait for it to come up, kind of base in there, and then again, you could either play it as it leaves. So that way, if it continues to go higher, you don't get in. You can play a number 3 entry as it's leaving, or you could drop it down to a lower time frame, wait till we have a red candle, a green candle that doesn't go as high, and then another red closer, and bam, there's your confirmation that it will continue to push to the downside. So 2 different ways you can play that one. Euro dollar. Again, we talked about this with the dollar. You can see there's the overnight. Here's the European session straight down again. 5:30, 6 o'clock is when we reverse back up again. It looks very similar to some of the Aussie trades. Let's clean. Buds, I don't know what you're throwing over there. Let's take these profit targets out. That one is out. Pull this, pull this. We'll use this. And again, this is the 22nd. I'm not surprised it turned there. We had this profit target right there. We're going to leave that. We're going to bring this across and wait for that Harry Potter. there. And again, kind of the similar, very similar looking to the Aussie dollar. There's a level sitting up here that's been tested right now around the 78.6. Again, my opinion is the same on there. There's no point in going through it all again. Yeah, give it to me. There you go. There you go, Bubba. Sorry, he like closes it down and they can't figure out how to get back up. We did have a screen lock on there for Jin, and now I can't figure out how to put it in. Everything I remembered about it is lost. I'm like, this is what we used to do, but it's not working. Um, yeah. Jin has an iPad, just so you guys know. It's actually Melissa's iPad that we just kind of recycled the Jin. Um, so yeah, you guys know my opinion on all the stuff. It's just, it's not for me. But we weren't gonna buy a new one. We just hand me downed it, for lack of a better thing. So that's where we are. I'd like to see the euro kind of start getting into a trend, not just retracing from this morning. By tomorrow morning, this one should be pretty decent. And again, we know we have a Harry Potter trade at 104.86 below. Again, a level you want to watch out for right at the 78.6. I'm going to turn these colors. There we go. 106.72 is again a potential reversal. If we can get that around maybe FOMC time, that could actually jolts or FOMC. If we can rally all back up there, that could be a level where again, FOMC saying that again, commenting about the jolts data is not what we want. We're gonna have to continue to kind of raise interest rates at a slower pace or whatever they're gonna say. Again, that could absolutely be a news trade. So we know we have a lot of US based data. This could be a great level to take a short off of, particularly if price is driven up there right before the news within a session / couple hours beforehand. Okay, so could be something. Again, nice little news based trade off of that level, and then look to take that one short. Again, could be here, could be over here. Okay, euro pound. So euro pound, again, we are seeing pound strength kind of roll back into the market. You're seeing this down. And again, this is a combination of European weakness as well as pound strength. Now, pound dollar is in an interesting spot. Again, we rallied very, very high. We had levels up here. We knew it in low volume. You can see that it kind of peaked just a little bit above before pulling back and actually retraced to it. Right now, let's draw fibs from, again, here's your peak down and up. You can see we are at the 23, but there's a lot of kind of a hit here, a hit here, a hit here, a hit here again. I think the first really clean trade we have is really down here, and we do have an alert set for this one, and this is a break of 86.89. There's a few levels in here, but this is a very low volume set of areas of kind of formation. The problem with that is none of these are like great, right? Again, a little base here, a little base here, a little pop, chop, 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 chop. No, nothing, 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 nothing. So not really a lot of great kind of, I don't know, zone formation tools in there. So again, just be cautious with that one. So for me right now, again, I still like the Harry Potter. We had this little racetrack before. It may take a day to get down there. European wise, yeah, it looks like absolutely Friday with the flash numbers. We may get something sooner than that. No, we're not going to do that either. A million things to play with. Let's not do this. Nope. Put this over here. I unfortunately not baby proof the room in time today. He's got a bag of like Christmas bags, and he's like, I'm just gonna throw these bags everywhere. Here, here, take this. Take this. All right. So euro yen. Let's do some adjustments on euro yen. We can see this one. It never retraced fully. So let's pull this off now. Actually, you know what? We're going to run it down from there. We're going to use that. Okay. So let's pull this level again. Yeah, the 22nd. Low volume did not go all the way back up. We're going to leave that there. What do we run into? The 137 mark. Yeah, 137.67. We knew we had something there. A lot of these smaller trades off. See if that is actually tagged that yet. did. Look at that. Right, literally rolled right off of it. Yeah. How funny is that? Right? There's our touch at that level. We knew we had buyers there, and those buyers are exactly what rescued it right there. Let's see. Yeah, there's nothing in here. A little tiny zone, maybe a target, but nothing really great. I didn't try that one. I think we wait for 135. And you may say, "Oh my God, that's so far away," and you would be correct. It is a far away, right? It is a far away, but unfortunately, there's so much junk in there. There's just not a lot we can do with it. Again, we're looking for clean levels. You don't want to start the new year off by forcing trades in here. Now, any type of retracement, and I do think a retracement will come in here in a little bit. Let's see. There's definitely a base here and a nice little kind of. This is the last set of strong candles, but this was like late last night, at like 6:30, and then it really kind of slowed down. So, um, hmm. He's in the other room going, Um, this one doesn't really have great zones in it. I think this is one of those ones that's going to have to marinate a little bit and give us some type of a news or some type of a statement. We'll probably get a statement tomorrow between Jolts or FOMC that will help the yen kind of stabilize itself in one of the two directions. So this is probably a wait and see. Again, if you are really hungry and you're aggressive, this is now a 23, so you could mark this level off and say, hey, listen, there's the last big candle, and you would be right. It is a big candle. The candle was formed at, 7:30 last night, 7 o'clock last night. So kind of Asian open, right? It's an okay level. But again, there could be something there if you're looking for a trade. It's got a little bit of room to run, 196 pips. So it's got some distance on that one. That's about the closest thing we got right now that I'd be willing to even remotely look at. So this one's going to marinate a little bit more. Pound yen, look at this retracement. So again, here's your 3 o'clock, straight down. There's your red, green, red. Retracement all the way back up again and has already tagged the profit target. So how's that for, reestablishing positions, taking profit, getting in and getting out really, really quickly, right? Yeah, so what we do with it now, literally what happened is we had a one session retrace. Straight down, 5:30 reversal. Here's the 5:30 is the green candle right here open. Or I'm sorry, the red closed, green open. And then we retrace back. So there's one session. And then result is 35 pip difference. Right now, let's see. We do have an easy top that we can use. So we can take a top from here and bring it down to the bottom here. And you can see now that the new top was there, it's kind of fluctuating around the 23. But the problem with this one, and this is a great visual, is there any trend from here to here? Answer is not really, right? And again, this is your 22nd through the resumption of today. And you can see, what do? We pulled right back up into it. So a lot of movement, right? A lot of movement from the European Open down. It was 170 pips and then retraced back again. You messed it up again? Here? What are you doing? There we go. Now you can't change it. I think I got it working this time. Hold on. I'm just trying to get him situated. Yeah, bye, bud. All right. All right. So the reality of this one is there's not much room for it to move right now. We don't really have any true sense of direction. It did obviously take a massive push to the downside and then having a massive retracement back up again. But we suck right back in. So, you could say, yeah, we're a little bit more into a dollar strength type move as the US trader is coming online. But so much movement has happened in this one. It's a little bit late to get into a long, particularly because we're up in an area of sellers. So be cautious of this one. As I said, we're kind of in the sideways basing. Here, take this, buddy. Here, take this. Here, there you go. Um, you know, it is what it is. Not much we can do with it. Pound yen. So pound yen. Now, pound yen is giving us a nice little pivot up here. So this is, I think, is pretty decent. And again, you can see we're below the 160. We came down to the 155.40 level. Let's move some of these and get this clean for the week. I guess we could run it down. Actually, that's fine right now. Because look, if we take this little piece here, that's at the 50. Don't need this. Don't need this. You can see it came in here based and had some problems with it, which is fine. All right, so here's a scenario. And again, there is a bit of a level right here. You're seeing some push through. Now, it looks like it's already hit it 1, 2. Looks like it wants to break through this level. Next decent levels up here. Hmm. That's weird. They're just headlines. Okay. What was that? It's a new. I haven't seen that one. So I'm looking at this level up here again. This is the pound yen. Again, we got a bit of room to run. It's about 190 away. We know the daily ATR on this one is 199. So it takes us from one day till now. Tomorrow morning, we know we have the JOLTS date at 10 o'clock. So if we move that one daily ATR back up again, again, continue to see that pound strength, yen weakness in there as the yen reverses, that would get us up over here for news time tomorrow. This actually could be pretty decent for both JOLTS as well as FOMC. Neither one of these, this could provide an interesting trading opportunity. And that's right at the 159 mark. So it's not 160, but it is 159. It is buried between the 50 and the 61.8. It is a level of basing with a confirmation, a red, green, red to the downside right here, as well as there was a test off of that red, green, red. So again, I would say it's a pretty high quality level, high probability to reverse. Question is, will we maintain a trajectory to there for tomorrow morning to be able to trade this pound yen short? I actually do kind of like it short from there because I think we could get some yen strength from either the JOLTS or the FOMC news tomorrow. So, yeah, it's not bad. Yeah, we'll see if we can continue to maintain that level. As of right now, and again, we are at a level, but I don't think this is necessarily something that's tradable. Maybe we get a little bit of a reversal, but I think right now, I think the pound probably continues to kind of stay on its trajectory with the end of that session coming soon. Okay, so I think this is a news trade for tomorrow. Dollar CAD, the same burst that we saw, right? 3 o'clock straight up. Although this one didn't reverse the same way, but it started to reverse at 9 o'clock this morning as it started to push back down. And now this may be an oil play. Yeah. So 930 is kind of pushing up. So there actually may be a bit of an oil play in this one. But anyway, dollar CAD, you can see a lot of sideways movement. We didn't quite get to the peak. It looks like it made it to this peak actually. Yeah, looks like that's what it ran into. And again, all that was a session open. That was just a session open move. How much did we take off of that one? Yeah, 71 pips. Take some of these out. Let's see, 1, 2. That's fine. We still got room. 1 and 3 is right there. E. Oof, I was close. Whoop, other way. There we go. All right. I'd say right now, I mean, levels to watch out for. There's obviously some buyers here. We've seen some basing off of it, and a nice push. And again, that was when the European market started, so it's a level. But I would say right now this level is probably no more than a target to the downside. If you are short, we should pretty much, again, there's a little bit. Actually, there's probably there may be actually a trade setup right here. If we can confirm down, let me see how many pips is that. 24. There could actually be a short trade in there. Ooh, it's close. 1 to 3 is right there. Yeah, if we get a base and a pullback, there could be an argument made with that one. Again, it hasn't triggered yet. But if we continue to base through and we get the right pattern, little V, form that lightning bolt, could be pretty decent. Mark that there. Actually, let's put this down here. Change that green. Let's take this, put that there, red and white. And again, you obviously need a confirmation to get into that one. But that's kind of what that one's looking like. Something along those lines. Okay. Again, definitely make sure you get profit out before this level. That's down at 135.37. Again, it is basing, was confirmed here, went a little bit lower and then exploded out of it. So there's obviously going to be some buyers in there. Not that it's a bad level, but it's just, again, it's a level to watch out for. There are some confirmed buyers that have stepped in there. There's no point to, again, why play around with that level if you don't need to, right? Use it as a profit target. Dollar Swiss. This is kind of comical. We had marked off and talked about 94 last week. You can see that this one made it up to 93.98.7. So 1.3 pips, right? 1.3 pips. Just goes to show you how big these kind of double zero numbers are. Now we have a little bit of a retracement. You're going to have some people looking at this one and saying, well, here's the original move, right? It's a 50%. And it's close. I guess, if you kind of moved it to here. Again, this is fibs. You can say, oh, I want it to be a 50. And you just go back far enough. You can find one and make it what it is. But there's the European session. Okay. Now, I will say in this one, again, we've seen that massive dollar movement. We've seen the dollar retracement, particularly in the pound yen. I would say at this point, kind of look at this almost the opposite thinking. Yes, it is a 50. Sure, it could continue to inflate. But if you run it the opposite direction, you can see that the 50 over here, there is also a zone, and it's a decent little pullback, right? So I would say right now, again, it is 10:30. This is when reversals kick in. The bottom was put in at 9:30. That means the U.S. session has been driving this straight back up again. If we are looking for a short, there could be a nice little continuation. And again, take this as a number 3. I think a number 3 entry is probably where this one is at. And all this is basically saying, hey, the U.S. session has sent this straight up. It's time to reverse. Take it back to the downside. And again, it's like a 10 for 30, a 9 for 28. So it's a rather small base trade. I think if you do get short this one, again, make sure you get profit probably by 92.53. It's probably the level that we're looking at. Yeah. But I think there could be a decent pullback to that one. All this is just like a trend continuation, right? Impulse, correction, impulse, correction. And again, if we can time that with a 10:30 reversal, be a decent push to the downside. Pound yen. So the magical 130 got breached, and then all the news articles came out about 130 got breached, and it shot it straight back up again. Again, this is the 28th, so use caution in this one. This was set up at a time when, again, there wasn't a lot of trading. You can see it kind of sliced back and forth right through, kind of was like, yup, the 23 worked. Oh, God, they got stopped out and then went through and then it pushed forward. So it's not really leaving the 23 level. I think we're in a very interesting spot with this one right now. Again, it's kind of, I think my belief on this one is, and again, this is what I'm seeing in a chart, we definitely have buyers stepping in. And again, below 130 is a big deal. Right? Everyone's like, oh, 130. We're below 130. There's obviously buyers kind of wedged in here at 131-ish. Again, this peaked just a little bit above and then kind of came back up again. I kind of want this one to go to the same. I want it to go. I'd like it to go bullish, right? in preparation for the news for Jolts and FOMC tomorrow. The reality is there's not really a great level. I don't know. Let's see. Can we go all the way up? It's 150. It's got a 175 daily ATR. There's two small levels. And again, the reason we drew fibs this way, obviously level here, but you can see the highs are getting higher, right, at that 50% level. There is another level here too. And again, you can see the basing here at the 61. The 61 is considered a stronger, higher probability level. So either those two levels could be potential entries for some type of, again, news trade tomorrow with the yen. And again, it would follow the euro yen, Aussie yen, and pound yen. But again, it is a little trickier because it does obviously have the dollar involved. So just watch out for that one. I kind of want to see where this one goes over the next few hours. As I said, right now I'm using kind of my personal opinion is I'm kind of using 130 as my kind of bottom side, and 135 is kind of my top side of a kind of a sideways channel. I think we spent a lot of time bouncing back and forth for these two. Just kind of, again, looking for that new trajectory. I think the major interventions are done. Again, we're not at the 140 range anymore. We're back down here. And again, remember, 130 was bad, but then they're like, nah, 135 is a real number. We blew it out. We're way back down again. I don't think the yen's going to help us anymore. It's really going to be a question of what does the dollar do, and then what does obviously the stock market do. Again, recession talk. Cryptos. I don't know if you guys have been watching, but holy crap, has there been all kinds of crypto drama. Logan Paul, scammers, and oh my God, it's absolutely insane. The amount of, oh my God, it's just insane. I don't know if you guys know who CoffeeZilla is. If not, you got to go look up CoffeeZilla on YouTube. Man, crazy. The stuff that people are pulling, like people called Crypto King and all this. And it's like, oh my God, I'm so glad that I can legitimately say I never had a crypto account. I've never traded crypto. I've obviously looked at it because it's just a chart, right? But oh my gosh, so much drama in the crypto markets. But again, Bitcoin's still having a hard time getting above 17. Ethereum, again, we're breaking through that 1200. That's a big psychological level for Ethereum. And Doji at 7, which again, I still have no idea why anybody would do anything with Dogecoin. By the way it's designed, it's insane. But yeah, lots of fun there. Meme stocks, you're seeing GME down at 17. TLT, a little bit of a spike. And again, we're seeing some dollar weakness. So not surprised that this is popping. Again, part of the reason this is popping as well is also because, again, it's the first trading day of the year. TLT is one of those ways to play bonds. So there's obviously a way for people to get back into the markets. Bonds is one of the ways to do it. They do love their drama. I usually like Coffee's videos. Yeah, I'm telling you, like his Logan Paul videos and stream of like, they've outed Logan Paul now and he's going to be canceled for the way that he's, it's unbelievable. I was like, wow, this is like the ultimate popcorn. And hearing the people talk about it, they're like, well, we tried to pre-sell tokens. I'm like, remember when all those people told you this stuff was a scam and then you followed these guys and yet you gave them $50,000 in coins to purchase before it got, I'm like, at what point did you not question that this was a bad idea? And they're like, 2 years later, the game still, it's not a game. And this is not the evil guy. The other guy was the evil guy, but like, text messages were leaked and they didn't pay developers. And I was like, holy crap, unbelievable. And they wonder why, and people saying that this is the future. Yeah. Woo! Get your popcorn ready, folks. It was a good one. But again, not surprised that TLT is popping as well. I think it probably turned. But you can see it definitely retreated back from that 110 back to the 102 number. I think this is going to be, again, this is a retirement account thing. TLT is an easy way for the average investor to play bonds. I don't talk about wealth management too much, but I will tell you, as far as wealth management goes, the stuff that, again, the KTS wealth stuff that I was working with, kind of getting into last year, I can tell you, worked out rather well. Yeah, the way that asset works, it worked out phenomenally well. So anyway, with that said, again, you got to understand this wealth side of things. The goal of trading is to provide your, pay your bills and then focus on this side. TLT is absolutely a way to do it in an ETF form. So it's a good one. And again, I'm not telling people to go buy stocks, but TLT is a good one to be able to hold. You can play options on it. It's a great way to get exposure in a bond market, which is absolutely gigantic and extremely important. Okay. This is the same thing we saw with .coms in 2000. No, it's much, well, kind of neuro, but not the same. I mean, .coms actually had legitimate, like, yeah, their earnings and stuff like that were crazy, and people were spending tons and tons of money. And it was kind of, I wouldn't say it was like, those were like companies that were, had physical locations and they had physical products. Like the DC area, it was all .coms. Reston was the .com, right? That was all the internet stocks, WorldCom, MCI, all that kind of stuff. They were all in this area, Net 2000, right? They used to give out those Honda S2000 cars to the top salespeople. Like, it was crazy. But, they would rent entire office buildings. These guys are paying developers in Switzerland and like, there's no business, there's no employees. It's like 5 guys and they're pre-selling tokens on. Yeah, definitely much worse. Yeah. So nobody got a paycheck except the original founders. Those tech companies back in the day, they actually had employees. I know guys that worked for them, and did installers of cable. They did well. They were legit. Just the valuations were insane, and the fact that people were like, "Oh, we're gonna get rich." I mean, you could say the same thing about the housing bubble, right? People buying houses that were real estate investors. It's the same as the .com. It's just a bubble, right? All it is just it's a bubble, right? Tulips, right? Tulips back in the day, the first bubble. It's all the same thing, right? But there's a bubble, and then there's just straight up scamming people. So, I mean, yeah, I don't know. You could say that the housing bubble was a scam, but you could absolutely say that things like Logan Paul and CryptoZoo were a scam. You could absolutely say it. Anyway, let's go across. Oil. So oil having a volatile day. Now, I marked off the blue line. The big debate last year was, where was oil going to end the year? And originally we were like, hey, listen, that 90 to 100 range looks good. Originally it was 80 to 100. And then some people said, nah, let's shorten that, probably 9 to 100. Well, the 80 to 100 was the right way, right? It did. It ended just above. You can see it 80.50, right? And then kind of popped up and then opened and kind of came back down again. Now, this is a very volatile market. There's a lot going on with this right now. And by that, I mean, excuse me. I was going to cough again. It's coming. Hold on. Trying to not sneeze all over you. Oh. So oil is a very interesting spot right now because we have price caps, banning price caps, lifting sanctions. I mean, there's all kinds of stuff in the oil market. There's been a lot of rumblings out of China. That they're talking about their 2 different Omicron variant strains that they have. Where we are with oil right now. I think what's going to make this one challenging, and right now, this is kind of what oil looks like. We've kind of been arranged between 84, 87. All this over last week doesn't matter. Right now, you can see from really the opening print went straight down, and then we had a lot of chop. And since the U.S. market has kind of started, not really a big direction one or the other, right? I think everybody right now is waiting, and maybe we've gotten one and I've missed it. No, we haven't seen it yet. Haven't seen any of the OPEC headlines yet. Again, we have meetings, and again, this is JMC, so this is Russia's group. Haven't seen it yet. I think this is right now. Whoops, not this one. Not Singapore dollar. My bad. Where is it? This, right? I think right now this is what is weighing on the oil market. There's a lot of questions that people don't know, right? Again, they're about to go through 2 waves of Omicron. One of the variants of Omicron we had in the United States too, so we already know that it's not that big of a deal. They're kind of entering there right now with Omicron, which again, I'm not a doctor. My personal opinion is it's totally fine. Let it go. Omicron's proven not to be a big issue. Let it get out there and let it run its course and then be done with it, right? Let's just move on, right? I think right now that's weighing on the market. I think we're waiting for some headlines right now to figure out what really is the impact of everything going on. China demand obviously matters. If China demand is low, oil prices tend to diminish. JAMC is going to obviously talk about the price caps, how they don't like them. Do understand, so Russia banned European oil sales to any country that is participating in the price cap. Understand the price cap is, they put it on there to not fuel the war machine. Understand that 75% right now, I think, of all oil purchases for Russia are going to Asia, not Europe, right? So it doesn't help them too much. Yeah, and then again, obviously the Ukrainian thing. Again, that's going to continue to play on things. But even if we ended the Ukrainian, even if what does Putin call it? A special military? Is it a special? What does he call it? A special military exercise or a special military operation or whatever he calls it? Even if it ended tomorrow, do you think the United States and all the European countries are magically going to lift all the sanctions they have against Russia? Answer is no, right? Because they want to permanently destroy Russia's ability to rearm itself. I think this is going to stay in play for a while. I think we have some more potential in here. I love all the emphasis on EV. There's so many people coming out with EVs and fleets and new cars and Amazon fleets that are nothing but EV. Again, it's great. We don't really necessarily have the battery power and understand. Oh, the other thing too, there's a lot of articles I read on it over this break. I don't know why I was on such an EV kick. EVs are actually not currently environmentally friendly, right? So you purchasing an EV vehicle doesn't actually. It takes like 8 years before it becomes environmentally friendly. So it's not about that. You're not buying it to save the environment. Just understand because of what it takes to make the batteries. I think oil right now, again, there's no real trend. There's no real decision right now where it's going to go. I think we're waiting for a headline from OPEC Plus, and I think that's going to be the big call. And again, tomorrow could also be a good day for oil trading as well, because if JOLTS data is good, showing that job demand is still increasing, is still strong, that means more people driving. That means more demand out there. So that could also give us a little bit of a bump in oil. But right now, again, we don't really have any good levels to kind of, bases off. Now, natural gas, unlike this, is continuing to drop, which is awesome. What the heck is this one? This is a new one too. Oh, contract switch. Like, man, there's all these new icons on TradingView. Like, what are they doing to me here? Look at that. Natural gas falls to an 11-month low as mild temperatures expected for most states, right? Now, that's this week. Next week, we'll be back down to 17 degrees, right? And actually, if you looked at for the last 2 weeks, natural gas didn't go crazy when it was 17 degrees out. So it's kind of funny that saying, oh, mild temperatures, that's why it's dropping. Because crazy temperatures, it didn't really spike it anywhere. I think it's just getting back to reality where it's supposed to be. This is just all the hype and hula coming out of the market, which I'm totally good with. And right now, we know we don't have a whole lot until we get down to the 350 range. So you can see, not really much driving force right now. Right now, again, I don't think there's really much we can do with natural gas. I would say maintaining a short. I think a short is good. It is a little bit deep into there. It's down 10, almost 11% right now. When we originally looked at this level, I don't even know how far back we have to go. Yeah, you can see we're flirting with this. These are levels that it was like hit again, kind of hit here. I don't think there's anything to at least 380, but is 380 a clean level? No, it hit here. So really 350 is the next time we have really a clean level in natural gas. So I like natural gas short for both trading and personal reasons. Now gold's got some craziness this morning, going up to 1850, coming back down, spiking up again and coming right back down again. So gold got some craziness here. Now, obviously, the day before FOMC, gold is going to be a little bit nuts. Again, people getting back into the market. Again, gold is a resource that people will hedge with, right? I mean, bonds and gold. Not that gold is a big percentage of the overall portfolios that people use. It is used as a hedge for inflation, and some people obviously store it. But gold is something that, again, does come up in portfolios. People will invest in gold stocks, gold, physical gold. So there are, gold does actually have somewhat of a function. Now, it is kind of basing back and forth. I personally believe that 1850 is a little bit on the high side. You can see we can pull this one off. This is from, this is from last year, because it is. Let's pull this guy up. And the problem is, this is just junky. There's no real levels in here. I mean, in all honesty, I think 1800 is really the big level we're looking for. You can see there's nothing here. A little bit of a gap pullback down here. Yeah, I mean, if anything, I would say, hey, listen, we can probably start drawing a top on this one and saying, hey, this is a decent level. I think tomorrow, the way to play gold is going to be, or if you're looking for a trade setup for news-wise, I think tomorrow, Jolts as well as FOMC both could be good gold trades tomorrow. Because again, remember, they're going to talk about inflation. If Jolts is under 10, that could be really good for gold because that means that the Fed is it's working. We don't need to raise anymore, which means gold has the ability, inflation has the ability to continue to go higher. So I do think there's a nice trade setup. We're just a little bit too early to be able to trade it right now in gold. And again, for those of you that are trying to figure out what the heck I'm talking about, ISM manufacturing showing contraction. Jolts, again, if this goes under, that means what the Fed has is working. They're trying to destroy demand because that's raising inflation. If it does go under 10, which I think it has the potential to do it, there you go. And again, if FOMC mentions, hey, look, what we have is working, guys. We told you had to stick with us. It's working. I think that's a really positive day for gold. So right now, if gold continues to go down, it's really setting up for a long tomorrow, in my opinion. Silver, very, very similar, just a lot choppier. You know, again, up. Let's see, pull this over. Again, it's pulling back to the 24. You guys can see here was our 24, or here was our trade from last week on the 27th, 28th, and all it did was pull back from that level. Right now for the new year, again, we can set up a zone here that's been touched. Again, if we drive into that level of 124.44, whoops, and this goes to there. Again, if we drive up in the European session into that zone, that could be a decent short. Again, a news-based trade, but again, we should see some type of a telltale sign inside of the European market for that one. So, you know, not horrible. There are definitely worse things out there. Yeah, so that's silver. Now, indices have all turned into the red, and again, VIX is spiking. The health sector, manufacturing firms, weak client demand. Let me see here. Came as expected. Shouldn't be bad. Construction spending went up. Interesting. All right, so let's see what we got here. Let's drop this down and see what we had at the open here. I did not check them today beforehand. Oh, look at that. 9:30. Yep, I can tell you right now. There's your base. There's your confirmation touch. There's your entry. So I can tell you right now there was an opening print in this one. I did not get a chance to check them today. Today was Melissa's first day back. Asher's sick, and then obviously Jin. Actually, I had to wake Melissa up at 8:15. I was like, hey, you're going to work today, right? So anyway, you can see, again, this is pretty, again, European session, 5:30 reversal on the European, basically pre-market hours. What do? We send it up, right? 9 o'clock is here. We kind of, we the 9 to 9:30 candle was red, right? And then we opened, pulled back up. And again, if this continued to deteriorate, it would have been no entry. So yes, this is absolutely an opening print strategy. Went all the way back down again. And again, it kind of got out where it was supposed to get out. I mean, there's obviously a zone sitting right there. Pretty deep touch, so it's a target, and you can see that's exactly what we ran into. So again, nice little opening print here. 7 for 21, not too bad. That's a nice little opening print there. And again, pretty safe trade, right? If it didn't come up, and if it just, if it was a red here and it just continued to deteriorate, no harm, no foul, no entry. It went to the other side and you got out. So again, there's your +1 or +3. This one also, now this one, oof, this is one of those ones that it's kind of like, actually, that's where I would have drawn it from. Had you traded it with futures, you got stopped out. Had you traded with something like Nadex or an options-based product, you were good to go. Man, look at that. That's a nice push off that level. Definitely a hard one if you were an options, or if you were, God, 1 to 3 is only right there. Look at that drop all the way back down. And again, it actually just went through. This one also has a similar base right here. And you can see that's where we're kind of a little bit of a hiccup down there. Look, it hiccuped at 1100. And Yeah, another hiccup down here at 1090. I will say we are getting into some buyers, so there may be a bit of a retracement opportunity in here. There's buyers here. They're not super clean levels, but I wouldn't be surprised if we do see a bit of a reversal off. But again, as far as opening print goes, I don't want to say I hate to say it, but I hate to see it, right? If you traded futures on the entry, you got stopped out to the top side. Again, it happens. Again, if you traded an options-based product, I wish I could trade options more. Unfortunately, again, anybody familiar with the way that the financial services industry works, I am prohibited from trading options on stocks and anything and any ETFs because my wife is a registered advisor. So, none for Brian. But again, futures would have got stopped out. And if you did, you made +3 here, you lost +1 here. So you're still up +2 for the morning on opening print. Again, if you traded options or giving yourself a little bit more space. Again, actually, let's see. You may, if you were really watching this one close, actually, if you look at this one and you were saying, hey, listen, it is up in that level now, I'm going to take it on the way out, you could have actually gotten into that one with futures and been safe. And again, if it continued to rise, you were fine. You're just waiting for the breakthrough. So, again, depending on how close you wanted to watch it, you could have potentially made it. But I'm just going to keep it very, very simple and say, hey, listen, it was a loss, even though you absolutely, had you been watching it, could have traded this one for profit. YM. So, YM also pretty easy. A lot of basing from the 9 o'clock window. Whoops. There you go. You can see we pushed down ahead of time. This one did pull up. And again, this was the last time we had any type of a little basing. And again, as it pulled down, pulled down, pulled down, pulled down, pulled down, pulled up, crashed. And again, nice little target right here. Actually, target is right there. And you can see that's what we're bouncing off of right now. So this would be another one right there. And 1 of 3 is only right there. And again, nice clean burst off of it, about 615. So that's a decent one as well. So again, if you were +3, -1, you were +2. This is the +3 as well. You were back up to a +5. And the Russell, again, probably be a similar scenario. The problem with this one, right? You can see we did a little bit of a confirmation here, right? Now, the problem with this, it was right next to the 1800. It's kind of like, oh, do we take it right before the 1800? Let's just say for argument purpose, you're like, listen, this is what the rule says. I don't care that there's a whole number there. I'm taking it. And if you did, it did push up. It did do the same thing. It did break through the top. If you go back down to a 1 minute or a 3 minute, doesn't really matter. You can see, actually this one maybe, yeah, this one hit, came back up, and actually on the lower time frame, there was an entry on it. You could have taken in. But I'm just going to keep it simple and say, hey, listen, there it was. Bam, you got stopped out. So technically, there were setups on all 4 of the indices. If you had taken them, again, you were 2 for 4 for entries, right? So you were a -2 for your 2 losses, and you were a +6. You ended up as a +4 for the day, right? As far as risk to reward goes, depending on your position sizes. So again, pretty simple. And again, the Russell is the one that is flat right now. It is actually a little bit in the green, and it's bouncing off of a level as well. So again, there's your opening print. And again, Russell would have been kind of the one it's like, do we take this? Because 1800 was right there. 1800 is a big deal, and it did. It just peaked its head above 1800. People were like, yeah, 1800. Boom, smash to the downside. So kind of a fun trade. Will not be surprised if these all rally back up again and we really kind of open where we closed today. Again, the data we have today, there's nothing substantial today. Tomorrow's ISM, JOLT's extremely important, and FOMC is going to be a lot bigger. So again, we're going to have people trying to get back into the market, trying to acquire positions. And you may say, well, wait a second, it's all red. Why would you say it's going up? Well, what did I tell you before? Big money is getting back into the market, right? Does big money like to buy here? Or will big money like to short the market really, really quickly to drop the price down and get it a little bit cheaper? Big money's not dumb. Big money wants it on sale, and that's exactly what big money was probably doing this morning. So don't be surprised if we come up and end up somewhere flat or even in the green today, as people are trying to get their money back into the market. What is it? Are we saying this is the same thing we saw with .coms? Yeah, similar vibe, similar legit. A lot of the employees didn't get paid. Nah, they got paid. They got paid really, really well, actually. Yeah. Remember, .coms wasn't that they didn't have... Basically, the problem with .coms is the stock valuations were, like, insane. Like, it was, like, 10 times more... It was like Tesla, right? Tesla technically missed its window. It was a .com, right? How many years did Tesla make zero money, but yet the stock price kept increasing based off of what they could potentially do in the future? That's all Tesla was. Now, is it unjustified? Nah, I don't think so. I mean, like I said, I think what Tesla's done with rockets and SpaceX and everything else has been really great. No, we don't play with that. Give me that. No. Was it stock explosion justified? Not really. If you were looking at it purely on a numbers basis and not what you do in the future, no, it didn't deserve to be as high as it was. But again, did they have a lot of things? Was there a lot of forward? It's like a biotech, right? Biotech, we have these 5 drugs in the pipeline. They all could work. It's going to cure this, 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 and this. It could be worth billions. And then biotech goes crazy. But remember, biotech, pharma, not everything gets approved. And that's where the kind of the downfall for that is. Tesla's kind of the same thing, right? Oh my God, we're going to come out with a Cybertruck. Meanwhile, we have no Cybertruck and everybody else has amazing new pickup trucks that aren't shaped like a wedge, right? They don't look like a doorstop, and they have better capabilities than the Tesla truck. And it's not heavy. Like the Tesla truck is actually quite large. You can go with any of the other ones out there. They look like normal pickup trucks without being in some futuristic doorstop, right? So, yeah. So, yeah, that's Tesla. Tesla had the same, it missed its window. It would have done great in the tech era, right? But I'm actually, and in all honesty, guys, don't care about this one, although it is kind of funny that that's a level of basing. Look at that. You have all this basing right in here. And that's exactly where it turned off of. This should actually be on a 30-minute. And Tesla's got it rough, but the reality is we're still kind of inside of a sideways window. Tesla, obviously getting beaten up, a lot of price pressure, everything else. Everybody's anti-Elon, even though it's whatever. I don't mind Tesla. So, but I do think it is a little bit high for what it is. So it is what it is. All right, let's go ahead and do the drawing. I know I pulled it up somewhere in here. This is our first drawing of the year today. Got some sleepers today, and again, it is the first day back. Who are we missing? Will's not in. Let's see. We're missing Will, missing Ernest, missing Sean. Sean's probably out partying. I don't know. What is it? Sean's either buried under snow and ice, or he's out in shorts trying to enjoy his 5 days of temperatures above freezing. So, not surprised, but hey, it's the first day back. Everybody's getting back into the routines today, so it's a little bit hard. So, it should be an easy day today. So, let's see who takes it. You 4 are the lucky ones. Let's see. Neuro's got a little bit of an advantage. All right, winner of today, the first drawing in 2023 is Jeff. Look at that. Jeff starting off strong. So, Jeff takes number 1. Let's see. I'm just going to do it this way. Copy. Leaderboard. Jeff, I know that you're up here on this thing now. Your position 18. Get into the hunt here. All right, so there we go. We'll give you an additional 25. Look at that. You're about to break 1,000. Your next time through, you'll beat Ross and Q. I should call him. I got to check. I haven't checked in with him for a while, but I have to. What up, buds? What up, buds? All right, so again, first day back. Always a weird day back in the markets again. Also, again, I don't know if you guys saw the story here. This is super, super scary. Made a tackle, stood up, took a couple steps, and then just collapsed on the field. I did CPR on the field. Heart goes out to him and the family and everything like that. I know he's in critical condition. God, unfortunately, this is not the first that we've heard about this. Guys at their peak performance having heart attacks. Again, hopefully it's just some random freak occurrence and not a byproduct of something else that we have done. But again, heart goes out to him and his family. Scary, scary stuff. They postponed the game and they don't know when they're going to resume the game. That's how serious it was for the NFL. So, yeah. All right. With that said, I'm out of here. I will catch you guys tomorrow morning. Happy New Year, everybody. Welcome to 2023. Let's look for a very productive and successful year. And I will catch you guys tomorrow morning at 9:30 Eastern Standard Time. You guys take care. Have a good one. I'll see you then.